Maui already. Isn't that extraordinary?
That is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's because the last one was such a fiasco technical wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a redemption show.
Mm-hmm.
The redemption show. Isn't there a Bob Marley song by that?
Yes. I like Joe Strummer's version of it. So I'm going to be talking story with Steve. He's going to be telling stories about his extraordinary journey. And also, we're just going to be playing some music and kicking back and sharing the goodness here live from Backlit Buddha Studios. We're also celebrating our 1-year anniversary here. I used to be in my office, in my bedroom with a computer, praying to the streaming gods that Cody on the other side of the island was connecting. And then I would check my phone and Michael Elam would go, "We're good." And we would be live. So I just feel really grateful to have such a sophisticated group of technicians and friends, including my friend here, Johnny, and of course Michelle from Pinatas, who have been keeping this place just, Steve was like, he said it best. He walked in and he just was like, wow. I mean, things have changed in the last year in such a way, and there's just more to come, so welcome.
The change is amazing, and I haven't even seen it in about 8 months. I saw it 8 months ago, and it was still coming together. Mm-hmm. It was exciting then, and it really was impressive then. Mm-hmm. And now it just feels like I want to hang out here.
Yeah, every time I'm here, I always tell Tempa Noor that it's my zen. Yeah. Steve, you can stay here whenever you want. We're good. We'll give you a permanent parking pass. All right, so let's get down to business. We're here live with the man, Steve Grimes. What are you going to play for us first today?
Well, I thought I'd play a song that is kind of, it's a song I co-wrote with my friend Igor. Igor is my alter ego. And most of the time we get along great. But when anything happens that's not copacetic, it's always the other guy. So I have Igor to blame.
Lucky you.
So this first song is a song that I wrote about having to live life with Igor. We're both born on the same day. We're both Geminis, whatever that means.
Your evil twin.
It's being a Gemini, it's a celestial disorder. And anyway, without further ado, this is called Duality. It's said that two heads are better than one. I wish it were so for the men I've become. We each say that's what I'm talking about, with twice the certainty and double the doubt. Like Jekyll's Hyde, I got my other side too. He can hide like the dark side of the moon. I call him Igor, my alter ego. He's my doppelganger wherever we go. And every day my reality, here with myself, he's good company. It is what it is, it was and will be. Just the same old duality. There's two eyes that see things different ways. Two ears, but they hear just a bit out of phase. I'm a two-trick pony with a two-track mind. I know how to love, how to be kind. But I ain't no saint, there's a sinner inside. And I got my suspicions about the other side. It's for some just reality beyond a reasonable doubt. And every day my reality, here with myself, he's good company. It is what it is, it was and will be. Just the same old duality. The mind can get a little bit tangled at times, trying to be my own cop, my own partner in crime. I was diagnosed early with a Gemini sign. And if I told you I get it, you know I'd be lying. My problems, my pleasures weren't born in the stars. I'm an earthling by birth, not a man from Mars. Most of that's true.
I know that I felt a little autobiography.
Autobiography. It would have to be a
Autobiography.
bi-autobiography because it's about
That's right.
both of us.
That's right. Now, when you do most songs that you sing, are they? You said you collaborate on that one, but when you try to make, when you're songwriting, do you find yourself telling stories from your life or telling stories from someone else's life more?
Well, first of all, I was just being facetious
Of course.
about
Yes.
collaborating on the last one. We do kind of, I do process things, and sometimes I'll write a song and I have no idea where it came from.
Just
It just comes. And so, but to answer your question, the songs that I've written that I like the most are songs that have nothing to do with me or any experience I've ever had. So that's where the imagination comes in. I took part in a Hawaii Songwriting Festival on the Big Island a couple years ago, before COVID. And one of the things they tried to stress, these well-known songwriters, and they've got amazing track records, 70 number one hits for this one guy. It was amazing. But he says, right from experience. And that's great, because who's a better expert at yourself than you? But if every song is about some experience, or it's about you in some way or another, it gets old.
yeah.
And that's where you need to just kind of do what a novelist does, or just create something. Imagine a scenario. You'll hear something in just day-to-day life, and then you go, oh, that would make a good song, whether you've experienced it or not. Yeah.
As a writer, there was a book that I really turned to a bunch. It was called Writing Down the Bones, which is exactly what you're talking about. Write what you know from inside. Writing
Down the bones. Okay.
And that was one of my favorites, always growing up. Now, a lot of people, when they think of you, they think luthier, guitar making. Were you engineering, making guitars first, or were you writing songs, musician first? Which came first?
I was a musician first, but not writing songs.
Okay.
Back at, I guess I was 13 when I picked up a guitar, and I just learned songs by the Kingston Trio, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and people like that, the folk artists of the day. And it was many years later that I actually started dabbling with putting one together. It was actually after I started dabbling with repairing a guitar. I picked up a guitar at Goodwill.
Yeah.
And I got it for $7.
Transformed.
And I tried to make it play well. Then I thought, oh, I could do this. And
you're like the original Jack White. To compare to our generation. So let's hear some more music. Are we good, Cody? Thank you. Mahalo to Cody. See, the reason we're here is because of Cody.
Thank you, Cody.
He can dial all this in. And we also have Kevin Garland. He's a fantastic drummer. It's always nice when the sound men are also musicians. Isn't that the way it should be?
They know the way it should be.
That's the way.
That's right.
So we're here with luthier extraordinaire and my good friend Steve Grimes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And he's been so generous. He'll be donating his virtual tip bucket today to Backlit Buddha Studios and supporting all the goodness that's going here. So, such a cool cat. All right, what you got for us next, sir?
So, speaking of songs that are totally from imagination, back in 2006, when Mana'o Radio co-founder Barry Shannon left the planet, I was talking to Kathy. I think the day that Barry left, I talked to Kathy, and within a few hours, I had written a song called "Over the Waves," which I think is still played as kind of a theme song for Mana'o Radio.
Yeah.
It's really about Barry, but Kathy was putting on a show at the McCoy Theater called Death Comedy Jam.
Love.
And
cool.
her characters in the performance were herself, Tida,
yeah.
of course. That's her.
Her Igor.
Her Igor, right? Thank you. And then Willie Kay, Dr. Nad, and Eric Gilliam, and myself.
Nice.
And she called me and she goes, "Do you have any other good songs about death?" I said, "Good songs about death? Let me see what I can find." And I actually went looking for any song, regardless, a good song about death. And I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything that was, appropriate. So I wrote this song. It's called "I'm Dying to Know." Ended up performing it at that show at the McCoy Theater. I'm dying to know a reason for life, the meaning for all, the struggle and strife. I'm dying to know if there's life after death, if the party goes on. When I breathe my last breath, and God only knows, but I'm dying to ask, if I can't take it with me, can I make it last? They say the minute you're born, that's when you start dying. So I'm gonna live now, or I'm gonna die trying. I'm dying to know, will I pay when I go for flying too high, for living too low? Can't figure it out for the life of me, but I'm dying to know, I'm dying to know. And I'm dying to know about reincarnation. They say we evolve the next time around, but it's hard to come back from eternal damnation if hell is your home. When you're down, you're down. Where's the answer? Why can't I see the question to be or not to be? Why, where, and when, and how will I go for the life of me? I'm dying to know. It's ashes to ashes, it's dust to dust. I'll pay when it's over, pay if I must. There's no time for faith, it's too late for trust. Oh, what the hell. Well, late last night In a dream I was flying. I took a red-eye flight, flew out of my bed, easy as a breeze. This thing called dying, not a care in the world. If I wake up dead, but before I go, I'm dying to pass. Wait. But before I go, I'm dying to see a miracle or two appear to me. They say have faith and try not to think. We all believe in something. I believe I'll have another drink. I'm dying to know, will I pay when I go for flying too high, for living too low? Can't figure it out for the life of me, but I'm dying to know, I'm dying to know, I'm dying to know, I'm dying. Something like that.
Yeah.
I do need my teleprompter every once in a while as the lyrics just...
You were playing that during sound check, and just that, the riff, we were in the back, and Kevin recorded it, and he was playing it over, and we were like, it was like in my head already, just your sound check.
I think it's called Requiem or...
Requiem?
Or Funeral March or something like that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's an old classic. It's the beginning
I
of
feel like
an
I was in the
old
Western
classical piece.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I like that kind of Baroque, macabre vibe anyway. I'm a happy goth, okay? And what I was going to ask you, we were talking story a little bit earlier, but, big names come to the island, legends, and they'll stop by, the workshop and pick up a guitar. I mean, people like George Benson, you're in first name with, and Paul Simon. And at the end of the day, it's just you sitting there with another musician talking about a guitar, And that's always something really interesting to me. How do you feel being around individuals like that are a little bit larger than life?
It used to intimidate me. I think the first time I had a regular visitor at my shop was George Benson, and he lived in Kaanapali at the time.
Very cool.
But he came to the shop almost every Friday, and he'd sit around for a couple of hours, and he'd show me this lick or that lick, and and the funny thing about it was I understand music theory. I'm not a great jazz player, but I know what he's talking about, and he... Interestingly enough, he could play it all just from his head. Explaining it was a different thing. Mm-hmm. So I'd ask him a technical question about what he was playing, and he'd go, I don't know, you just play it.
You just feel it.
You just feel it.
Yeah.
So it was fascinating. And he would play these elaborate endings. And one time I challenged him to write an entire jazz tune of all endings. And he did.
Of all endings.
All endings. So it was just from the beginning. It was a whole song of one ending flowing into another ending. It was 3-4 minutes of endings. Oh. It was just hysterical. But yeah, no, it was, I don't know whether you could say I got used to it. It's just, they're people, and they're wonderful people. And they love it when they feel like normal people. And you're not like, oh Absolutely. My God, And so Walter
Maui's
Becker
a special
used
environment for that. There's a lot of, every once in a while, you'll be at a store, oh, Chris Christopherson's over there.
Well, the guitar is the common glue, or it's the common denominator in the whole thing. So it actually is always a fallback if there's a point where there's never a point.
There's
where there's nothing to talk about because we can just go on and on. But yeah, no, I actually recently wrote a song. I had a very famous guitar on the bench. Obviously, the very famous guitar belonged to a very famous person, but I was just so honored to have this guitar and to work on it. And this person had ordered a couple of guitars from me, but this was a different guitar that he brought up. And he told me at the time that he wrote most of the songs he'd ever written on this guitar. And so I was just I was almost nervous then. And he left the guitar with me. So just having the guitar in the shop, I was like, oh my God. The shop better not burn down.
Do we have the insurance? Where are the cameras? I'm going to go sleep with my sleeping bag back there in the workshop.
So anyway, I wrote a song called This Very Guitar.
Let's hear it.
And let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget, tip the talent at Backlit Buddha Studios on Venmo and also CQ Audio for tech. Thanks for being here, Steve. We love you.
So many songs and so many stories have sprung from the soundboard of this very guitar, of dreams and schemes, of heartbreak and worries, from the steel and the wood of this very guitar. Songs of trials and troubles, the roads that we choose, the chances we take when there's nothing to lose, of life on the lam and running for years, from walking the line between laughter and tears. If I could write a song on this very guitar, where so many songs for the ages have come, if I could, oh, you know I would write a song for all of the singers and sages to come. This box of songs, it's known one man's hands. It's seen the world's stages and time's shifting sands. To hold it here, to feel its soul and its sound, makes me feel like I'm finally heaven bound. If I could write a song on this very guitar, where so many songs for the ages have come, if I could, oh, you know I would write a song for all of the singers and sages to come. If I could, oh, you know I would write a song for all of the singers and sages to come, for all of the singers and sages to come. This very guitar. Thank you.
I am so curious. I think you and I talked about this before, but as a man who has crafted over 1,000 guitars and played everything from the most magnificent ook, renowned archtops, when Steve Grimes needs his guitar, a clutch moment, what do you grab? What's your go-to? Like for you as a songwriter, is that your guy right there or your girl?
I grab a Grimes.
Grab a Grimes.
Gotta grab a Grimes.
Gotta grab.
That could be my new motto.
I was like, I think we just got something here. Grab a Grimes. Ding.
Yeah. Feeling uneasy? Life's been hard?
Grab a Grimes.
Boss is giving you a hard time at work? Grab a Grimes.
Yeah. And don't hurt him. Don't hit him in the head with it. It's a work of art.
I make them for the ones I make for myself, like this one and this other one, I make them so that I like them. I know what I like, so I make the fingerboard a certain width and the action set the way I like it. So yeah, no, I grab a Grimes.
You got the Mother of Pearl. Just watch that one over there. It's so beautiful.
This is a little guitar. It's a parlor, but they call it parlor for the size, parlor guitar.
Yeah, like
and I did some gigs up in Seattle in early June, and I just wanted a new guitar, a good travel guitar, and it's a shorter scale. It's a smaller body. Fits in the overhead.
Good. Yeah, there you go. Great carry on.
That's very important.
Very, especially these days.
I just finished it just to have, so that I'm just not a one-trick pony.
Well, you love ukulele too. Ukulele has become an extension of who you are, and in fact, I wanted to mention the extraordinary gift you're giving to an event tomorrow night. I definitely want to talk about that. It's a tenor uke. And tell us a little bit about this and the event that's going on with your dear friend, Keola Beamer.
My dear friend, Keola. He has really helped out my business for so many years, and he's become a close friend. I met him in, I think, the late 80s. He brought one of those double-hole guitars. I didn't invent that. I'm kind of known for that now in terms of flat-top guitars, but I didn't invent it. It goes way back, actually goes back to the 20s. Francisco Simplicio from Spain made double-hole classical guitars. And more recently, Keola had a place in Honolulu called the Guitar and Lute Workshop. And it was actually a little consortium of 3 luthiers plus Keola Beamer. Oh, wow. 3 builders and Keola. And they, Douglas Ching, Donald Marienthal, and George Gilmore made these double-hole guitars. So fast forward, Keola came into my shop one day in, I think, 88 or so, 89, and he had one of the double-hole guitars that needed some work done on it. So he left it with me, and I got a chance to look inside, see, how this luthier built it. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it was a little tight. For my own personal taste, I felt like it was a little too tight. It needed to open up. And so I asked him if I built one, if he would opinionate on it. That's a word. And he said yes. So I made one, and he liked it. So I made another one to his specs. He has a real unique neck size that he likes for all of his guitars.
Collaboration.
And so that got me started. And a few years later, I asked him if I could call it the Beamer model. Mm-hmm. And to this day, it's one of the more popular guitars in my catalog.
And then Friday, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
It actually was in the McCoy. It got moved to the Castle Theater.
It's in the Castle Theater.
We're going to have a film. Tell us a little bit about what's
happening. There's a film. We're going to have the end of the auction for this ukulele that I made to donate to Mohaloho Foundation, which is Keola, and Keola was the founder, Keola Moana. The president is now Tom Lundgren, and he's going to play tomorrow night, as well as Jeff Peterson.
Wonderful.
It's going to be an outstanding concert. And
some high-caliber talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So it's going to be a special night, and I'm hoping that the bidding goes up and that we raise a good amount of money for Mohaloho. Mm-hmm. I've been on their website and just seen what they do in Cambodia, and now they're going to India next month, and they take, I think, 60 inexpensive ukuleles with them, and they teach kids that are pretty impoverished or disadvantaged kids. They teach them how to play, and they teach them the concept of aloha.
That's beautiful.
And it's a really beautiful thing. Yeah. So that's what they're raising money for.
And you can find out all about that if you just go to mauiarts.org. It's the first thing that pops up because it's tomorrow.
The concert
night.
Tomorrow.
And then Saturday, we got Paula Fuga at the MAC. She's going to be presenting her tribute to Aretha Franklin. So thank you to everybody for supporting that show. I'm helped putting that on. It's one of my biggest events. So there's nothing like the legendary soul queen, being celebrated by Hawaii's soul queen.
Absolutely.
I mean, if there's anyone else, it should be,
putting it.
And Paula has a great stories. She got to see Aretha in concert. So imagine Paula Fuga as an audience member seeing Aretha.
Probably as a fairly young woman, too.
And Aretha passed away, I believe, 10 years ago, I want to say. And she, maybe less than that, but Paula always says that she ingested some of that magic, and now she's kind of been carrying it around with her. Did you ever grow up with choir or gospel or church?
No.
Was that ever part of your life? No. When did you come to
Maui?
I wish. What year did you come to Maui? I know we talked about it. You've been here.
82.
82, yeah.
In the mid-'70s, I would come during the winter. I was living in Seattle area. And I would come, and I had some friends here that were doing hotel conventions. So I was able to stay because I was making enough money to get by and to get out of the Seattle rain. So from 77 through 82, I would come for a few months out of the year. In 82, I was offered the job of repairman for Bounty Music. I figured while doing that, plus some gigs here and there, I might be able to stay, and it worked out. So I've been here since 82.
Wow. When we get back, we'll talk about your video After the Rain and your relationship with Inflatable Films. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're having a great talk story here with the legendary Steve Grimes. We love you. What are you going to share with us next?
I'm going to play a song, if I can find this little piece of hardware. It's a song called To Hell with Heaven. And it's contrary to the way it might sound.
You did need to get to church. I'm just kidding.
It's not a blasphemous song.
I'm just kidding.
Has nothing to do. It's with actual religion. It's just about finding heaven where it is.
Wonderful.
Heaven is where you find that, as they say. They say heaven is where you want to go when you go, and it's only for the holy. Sweet chariots swing low, but my promised land is right here on earth, and her name is sacred like the spoken word. When she smiles at me, I find immortality, and I say to hell with heaven. We're told this world is just a staging ground. We're just here to get ourselves ready for the next go round. But I want to live before the afterworld with my earthly angel, my goddess girl. When she smiles at me, I see my destiny, and I say to hell with heaven. Don't know why I'd want to go, 'cause I'm in it every minute, right here below, yeah. Well, there may be a place way up high that could be waiting for me when I die, but I'm with my angel right here and now, and I thank the sky, and I say to hell with heaven. Well, heaven can wait, or maybe hell if I go. Whatever my fate, well, God only knows. He sent her here, it's part of the plan, so he'll understand why I say to hell hell with heaven. Now if you live a good life, you'll find eternal happiness. And you'll pass those pearly gates if you're truly blessed. But what we've got is paradise now. We've got all that heaven and earth will allow. Fate has smiled at me. This is our eternity. And I say to hell with heaven. I don't know why I'd wanna go. They say heaven's where you find it. We're living proof that that's so. We're down here in hog heaven. Nothing else we wanna do. We'll stay till forever, or when our time is through. Our time is through. The audience goes crazy.
I love listening to you play in person. It's so nice. I've been streaming your, Maui Coffee Attic. I love those gigs you did with Steve Sargenti and Sal. I mean, what characters? We had them on here a couple months ago.
Oh, the duo.
They
We
should
were,
be Cheech and Chong or some kind of stand-up duo. They are funny.
They are funny. Steve is hysterical. Steve used to work at my shop in Kula.
Oh my gosh, of course he did.
And
You two are
he
a whole story.
would just write a song on his way to the studio, to the shop.
It's oozing out of him. He picks up an instrument.
He'd walk in and then grab a guitar and he'd play the song, and I go, "Wow, when did you write that?" He goes, "In the last half hour."
Yeah, he has one of the most extensive collections of original songs.
Yeah.
We talked about that. And he's
Yeah.
just like, I just keep pumping them out. I'm like, are you gonna release them?
Yeah.
Whatever. He's happy.
He's pretty nonchalant.
I love his kitchen sessions. We talked about everyone coming over to his kitchen.
So we got this idea to do Sal, Steve, and myself. Steve, Sal, Steve. And I thought, well, let me see. You got your J crew. That name's taken. How about S crew?
The S crew. I love
And
that.
the poster could just be screw.
Screw.
No. I mean, it wouldn't appear that way, so I would have to take a little imagination.
Yeah, I can help you.
Something's
with that.
lost in translation. But we had some really good fun at the Coffee Attic.
They're great guys. I'm so glad to have you guys here on Maui playing and existing. It just, and it's fun for me because I'm close friends with individuals like Justin Morris, Matt Delomo, and they look up to you, and they think you're the coolest,
Oh
but you
my
think
God.
they're the coolest.
I think they're the coolest. Sorry.
It's the
Sorry.
best. It's the best. You have a really cool relationship I want to talk about with Inflatable Film. Your neighbors in Kula, practically, and they came into your life, and you did that wonderful video, raining, and you got your guitar wet. Oh, I love this story.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
I got a guitar
A
wet.
guitar wet, yes.
took a lot of flack for playing a guitar in the rain. But Inflatable Film found me out in late 2019, and they came into the shop. They came up to my shop, and they looked at what I did. We talked for a while, and they said, we're interested in doing a documentary. I went, what? Like, me? Little old me? No. And so they started filming the construction of guitar number 1000. And it just developed from there. And they're really far into it. It's still alive and kicking. It's actually thriving. And they have PBS wants them to finish it. They're interested in it. And there's still some things we want to add to it. Mm-hmm. And then there's probably Todd Soliday, the editor, says there's probably a year of editing. So it's a serious project that they're involved in, but it's not just about the shop. It's about the culture of Maui, the culture of Hawaii.
That's so cool. I can't wait. We gotta have a party, screening party.
They were at the One Grand party filming.
And One Grand, for people that are talking about. So you had, I like to call it like the end of days party or all tomorrow's parties. You had this fantastic event up at King Kamehameha. On the cusp of COVID shutdown.
The week before we shut down.
And you were able to celebrate, making 1,000 ook and guitars.
Yeah.
And then next week, shut it down.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the last huge party.
Well, it was. They called it Maui's last laugh for a while, because it just, everybody just went into their little hut, their hibernation. And that's where, After the Rain, the song came from that, because we were all so pessimistic about it ever ending. It just seemed like it was going to go on forever. And so I wrote the song called After the Rain. And then Todd, who had never done a music video, we talked about it, and then he said he liked the song, and he says, let's do a music video. And it's the most,
it's a small movie.
Speechless.
It's a small movie.
It's a 4.5-minute movie.
It really
that
is.
is just so well done.
And you look so like an actor almost. I mean, you take over. You're like, it's a different you. Like if you're like, wow,
who is that guy? It's
who
Igor.
Is that guy?
That must be Igor.
But I'll definitely put a link to that video in this
Cool.
post. So, and you can also grimesguitars.com. That's where a lot of people can follow you and follow your story.
And they can also go to inflatablefilm.com, and there's a ton of information and what those guys have done. They've done award-winning documentaries.
Oh, yeah, I've worked at Amazon.
And
everybody.
it's just fascinating what they have on their website. And I'm not to just use a phrase like this, but I'm humbled that to even be a part of it. I even asked them, I said, why me? There's lots of good guitar makers out there. There's lots of good songwriters. So I understand if there's a Eric Clapton or Tommy Emmanuel, a documentary, but me? So they said,
you're a big deal to
Leah,
us.
the director, she says, Steve, it's not about you.
Yes. I like her. That's
Get
good,
over
she said.
yourself. I went,
Get over yourself. It's
well,
about the guitars.
yeah, it's about
okay? So we're here with Steve Grimes talking story. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget, these are online at manaoradio.com/Manao at home. Our little pineapple faces up there. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We still got a couple more songs, and I'm just so grateful that we did this Tech Redemption episode.
Tech Redemption.
I know, that's a new thing. I like it. Tech Redemption.
All right, this is a song called After the Rain. Kind of an ode to optimism. Walls of this old house weren't meant to be a shelter to hide us from things that we can't even see. These turbulent times, all the lightning and thunder will wane, and we'll splash through the puddles of trouble and pain and catch drops of sunlight after the rain. Whatever the weather brings, flooding or drought, we're in it together, whether we like it or not. Soon we'll be free and we'll thank the old sun for what he's done. We work as one world, there's so much to gain, and we'll shower with laughter after the rain. If we just hold the line, After the storm, the sun always shines. We've got to hold the line. The clouds will clear. We'll have that beer and we'll be fine. If we just hold on. Old proverbs warn us the demon stands at the gate, but all things will pass for those who are willing to wait. We'll open the door on the dawn and welcome the day. The world will still turn like this old weather vane, and we'll dance with our shadows after the rain. If we just hold the line. After the storm, the sun always shines. We've got to hold the line. The clouds will clear. We'll have that beer and we'll be fine. If we just hold on. Sunset, this too shall pass. It's still pertinent.
I'm such a
2.5 years later.
Yeah, it is. I love that song. It's when I first met you or was introduced to you, I listened to that song a lot, just because it was what was available right then, and I remember thinking, that kind of song is from a songwriter who's had like it's a beautiful song, you know, it's emotive, it's introspective, and also I feel the rain. Like, is that because you're from Seattle and Kula? Like you made me.
You saw the video.
I saw the video
with me getting drenched, playing a cheap $150 guitar, I might add.
Nice way to cover your tracks. Now you have so much fun on Maui. We only have time for one more song. I always like to ask this of individuals who, you know, you could be anywhere in the world, New York City, Chicago, New York, Seattle. You could be doing big things. Why did you choose to plant your feet on Maui and make this such an extraordinary home for you?
Well, it was an easy call. I mean, coming from Seattle in the wintertime to come to Maui and then be offered work doing what I love to do, which is repairing and building instruments, that was an easy call. I just wonder why it took me from 77 to 82 to figure it out and figure out a way to make it happen. Mm-hmm. But once I rooted myself here in 82, I knew this was home, and I just wanted to do everything I could to improve things around me and improve my own life by just being here.
And that's exactly what you've done. Yeah. So thank you so much. Yeah. I'm a big fan of you.
Trish, thank you so much. It's always fun. And I'm so glad we are getting past the memory.
I know, and for me, how embarrassing! I just come back from LA. You know, I'm like getting back my feet in the journalism game here, and I'm so excited to interview, and it ends up being a disaster. I'm like, how am I going to face this legend again? How am I going to see him? And then you ended up supporting That's another thing I just want to mention about you. You always buy tickets to events. You always try to come support. You're one of those guys that, like, I would let you in for free to every show, but no. Like, Garrett had a show. You came and you bought tickets and you supported. I love
music.
I love that about you.
Well, there's maybe an element of wanting to support there is an element, but I'm addicted to music. And Maui has amazing musicians.
We're so
There's
lucky.
something going on tomorrow night that I wish I could go see. There's 2 things happening on one night.
Yeah.
There's just great talent on Maui. We're lucky. We're really lucky.
Blessed. I feel very blessed to be here and be able to highlight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have one more song. Just time for one more, a little Hana-Ho.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do one more. I'm here with Steve Grimes. Make sure you guys tip Backlit Buddha Studios. Mahalo to Steve for donating. And thank you so much to Tempa Naor, Johnny, Michelle, and everybody, Michael Elam, and Cody, Kevin, Chino, everyone that's supported the show. As I like to say, it takes a village to make Mana'o at Home happen. And before I forget, don't forget, vote. We only have 2 more days. Make sure you turn in your primary ballots.
Done it.
Vote, vote, vote. Great community leaders up right now, and I'm just really happy to be on this island. Thank you guys so much. Make sure I see you at Paulo Fuga this weekend or tomorrow night with Keola Beamer. Last song from Steve Grimes. Mahalo.
Just want to do right by you.
Yeah.
This song is not a philosophical song. It just talks about things that I've actually done all my life. Maybe doing them a little bit more these days. There's no explanation for this song. There's no excuse either. I don't know why I put the salad in the closet or the grocery list in the safe deposit, and I can't explain the flowers in the freezer. It's not to drive you crazy, you know I only try to please you. I might have put a cup of salt instead of sugar in the cake. Sometimes the things I do might seem a little half-baked. In this crazy world, you can't count on much of nothing, but you can surely count on my loving. Right by you, that's the only truth that's true. Both of me plus one of you still makes 2. That's right. I may have taken bacon to a vegan dinner, and my chocolate chip omelet wasn't much of a winner. And I know I walked the line between saint and sinner, but I always try to do right by you. And I wear my shades when the weather's stormy, and the love songs I sing to you might get a little bit corny. You got to give a little credit where credit is due, 'cause I always try to do right by you. Right by you, that's the only truth that's true. Both of me plus one of you still makes 2. Nothing I do that ain't already been done. You do it too, and I'm not the only one. I know I put the dirty dishes back in the cupboard. My mind is clean, mostly, just a little bit cluttered. But I always cross my eyes and dot my T's. And you know it's true, I always try to please. Right by you, that's the only truth that's true. Where I'll be when nothing's left is right by you. Trish, thank you so much for having me on the show.
So great.
It's always fun. I wish I could I got another gig I gotta run to.
Okay, great.
But I gotta tear ass out of here. But thanks for having me again. And I think we
Redeemed?
exorcised ourselves of the last attempt.
The Wi-Fi fiasco.
Wi-Fi fiasco. Thank you so much. And thanks to Backlit Buddha Studios. It's amazing in here. I can't wait to record here. So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you again.
These shows with these guys need to be like 2 hours long. It's just not enough. It's just not enough sitting with these legends. All right, guys, thank you so much for sitting down and talking story and enjoying just the extraordinary Steve Grimes, the coolest cat around, I swear. Get on that list. He's got a list, the Grimes list. And make sure you follow Grimes Guitars on Instagram. You also go online and stay
Not on
tuned.
Instagram.
Not on Instagram.
Not
Well, you're like, I don't do that.
It takes me 10 years. In another couple years, I'll be on
You'll
Instagram.
be on Instagram in a couple years. Stay tuned. Next episode, who do we have? Sting Kong. That's right. We've got the surf rockers from the West Side.
That's Sting?
Kong.
Oh,
Sting Kong.
it's not Sting.
Not Stink. And then we've also got just booked today, Jimmy C. That's right, the extraordinary jazz what is he, a drummer, singer, songwriter. He's the multifaceted madman. And then also, cross our fingers, Lily Mayola is going to be on Island, and her and I are texting right now. She might be in the studio with us here at the end of September. So stay locked here on Mana'o at Home, and mahalo for supporting Trish da Dish, Mana'o Radio, Backlit Buddha Studios, and all the creative creatures here on the beautiful island of Maui. I'm Trish da Dish. Keep it weird for the homeschool. I'll see you on the flip side. Take it away, Gino. All right, keep it weird for the homeschool. Mahalo to Steve Grimes. Aloha. I swear I can talk well. I'm a jerk.
All right, we're clear. Thank you,
Yay!
everybody.
Listen to that song.